Hey guys, I am Rechex and welcome to Tech with Rechex. Today I'm going to help you make some good decisions when it comes to buying a laptop. Most people find it very difficult in deciding how or what type of laptop they need to get when they decide to buy a new laptop. And that's why I'm here today. I have come up with 5 pointers that will guide everybody who wants to buy a laptop. So let's get into it. But before we do, if today is your first time here, don't forget to click the subscribe button and click the bell icon so you get notified anytime I post a new video. So let's dive into the video now. So 5 pointers for getting a laptop. The first one is common. It's your budget. Budget. How much are you willing to spend? Yeah. So that is the first pointer. The second is what you're going to use the laptop for. You can't buy a laptop without knowing what you're going to use it for. You need to know what you're going to use it for. So we'll come into that in a bit. The third is the specs. Actually, the second pointer will determine the specs, the specification of the laptop that you need to buy. If you're able to decide what you're going to use the laptop for, it helps you determine the specification that you need. Because you can't use every laptop or any laptop for anything. Some laptops can do certain things, others too can handle some stuff. So we'll go deeper into that later. Then we come to the build of the laptop, or the same idea of processing, but the design can have some flaws in it that will affect what you're going to do. So we'll also talk about that. So let's dive deep into this video now. So let's talk about budget. The baseline is how much are you willing to spend? How much do you have that you're ready to let go into buying a laptop? That is the base of this. So how do you determine this? How much money do you have saved up for the laptop? How much is your income flow? If you buy the laptop, how are you going to survive within the month? And it's not easy to come by money. So, but it's important. It's always important to have these gadgets around you so that you can also be productive and effective. And it costs money, so you need to be able to decide what to do. You need to be able to look into that very critically so that you'll be able to make the right decision. If you so happen that you are whoever you're dealing with can offer you some form of insurance or warranty, don't forget to go for it. It's very, very important, because the warranty or the insurance secures replacement or repairing of your computer, of the laptop. So you don't incur more cost in maybe repurchasing a laptop that is stolen or repairing a laptop that is faulty after a couple of days or a couple of weeks of buying. Then another thing that is also very important and is dear to my heart is how long are you willing to use that laptop for? You understand? A lot of people do not think about this. I want a laptop, they just go and buy it. But it's very, very important to have this at the back of your mind, that I want to use this laptop I'm investing into for this period of time. And that way it helps you after even purchasing, how you manage and control, how you manage and take care of the laptop. So it's very, very important. I practically have a minimum yardstick of 5 years. 5 years to 10 years, but I go for a minimum of 5 years. You should have the back of mind. I'm using this laptop for 5 years. So say you're going to the uni and you're going to buy a laptop as you're going to the uni. Uni is 4 years. After 4 years, you have 1 year of national service before you get a job. You see the plan? So you buy the laptop before you enter. The 4 years, you use the laptop through the year, through the 4 year. Then with the national service 1 year, you still have the laptop, you use it. After the national service, you get a job, you replace the laptop. Good, right? You don't waste money. So that is my plan. That's my strategy. Now, how to also make sure that you have enough money to buy a laptop is very basic. Save. So anytime you buy a laptop, you start saving for your next laptop. So far as it's something essential in your life, something that you need in your life to be able to do the jobs that you're doing, you know that you're going to replace it. So you need to make preparations for that. So that is my first point, and those are the pointers that I have for budget. If you think otherwise, you can, or you have any contribution, you can comment. The next pointer is what you're going to use the laptop for. You need to really understand or know what you're going to use the laptop for. So there are different levels. There are different types of users. We have the normal users. I call them normal users. They don't do too much on the laptop. They just browse. They do a bit of Google, a bit of email. They do web processing, that kind of stuff. They don't really do too much heavy stuff on it. Those people, I call them normal users. Then the media consumers, those who watch YouTube, Netflix, they browse, they all fall under the normal users. They don't really make use of the laptop that much. So those people do not need to spend too much money buying expensive laptops, unless you want to be flashing around and say that you have money or kind of something of that kind of stuff. Then we have the content creators. The content creators, those who create videos, YouTubers like myself, graphic designers, photographers, all those people that process graphics in high resolutions. Also, it's a particular kind of users. They need some type of laptops to be able to do the job that they're doing. Then we have the programmers, those who create, the software developers, the coders, the hackers, all those people. They also need some form of processing power, so they also have some laptops that they need. Then the gamers. The gamers also need some high power laptops. Their laptop also have some details in build that is required. So we'll also talk about that. So these are the categories of people that are available that usually buy laptops. So if you find yourself in the laptop, identify yourself, and when we come to the specs, you link yourself to the specification, and you'll be able to tell the type of laptop that you need, that you can buy. So the next pointer is the specification of the laptop. So this is the most critical part. This part determines the amount of money you're going to spend. It determines if it's going to do the job for you. So it's quite critical here. So on the basics, a laptop comes with a screen, a keyboard, and some internals. The internals determines much more as to how powerful the laptop is. So we're going to pick the internals, and then those basic internals that is needed when you're buying a laptop, and you need to consider them. That will help you decide. So we have the processor, which does the processing of the system. Then we have the RAM, or the memory, that stores information temporarily when you're running the laptop. Then we have the hard drive, or the HDD. Now the HDD, we have the hard drive. We have two types now. We have the normal mechanic one, and then the solid state one. So these are the basic things that you consider when you're buying a laptop: the processor, the RAM, and the hard drive. The other thing that you can consider, depending on what you're going to use the laptop for, is the graphics, the video card, and all the So those are the components that you pay attention to when you're buying a laptop. Some people also look into the display, where you talk about whether it's 4K or 2K or IPS. Those are also there. So that is dependent on you. Those basically goes for content creators and yeah, both the content creators and the gamers, they usually need those details. And also the AMOLED displays. Those specifications, you consider them when you are a content creator or the gamer. Now, let's dive deeper into the specifications. With the processor, now we have the quad core, the quad core dual core, which is very low. Yeah, but it's running Windows 10. Some are running Windows 10. Up to the 5, up to i5. I call that low or the low processing category. Then from the i5, depending on the generation also, to i7, I call them the medium fast generation or fastest. So the quad core to i5 is slow or fast. The i5 to i7 is medium or faster, and then the i7 to i9 is the fastest. So that is the category I have now. Now, based on what you are doing, if you're a normal user, content consumer, a word processor, just browsing, just checking email, you don't need too much processing power. So a quad core, if you don't, the quad core depends on the money you have. So if you don't have too much money, you can go for a quad core or an i3. If you have some money that you can throw about, you can go for an i5. All these are good for that category, but the higher the processor, the better experience you have, the more fluid your usage will be. Then those that are within the content creators, I will always recommend you go for an i7. Some i5s might work. You might do a lot of upgrade. You might have to do an upgrade with the memory and the hard drive so that you can meet the specification. But if you are not going to do any form of upgrade, just go for the i7. That way you'll be able to run your content creating software. Then you come to the gamers and then the programmers. Even some of the content creators, those who do animations, high-end animation, other stuff. The i9 is good for you. The fastest is good for you. Now, all these things comes with its complements. That is the RAM. Mostly the quad cores up to i5 will you have a maximum of 8 gig in it, if not 4 gig of RAM. Yeah, the memory also helps with the processing. So the higher memory you have, the better processing capabilities you get. Then comes to the i7, the i9. Those goes up from 8 to 16, 32. You can go all the way up to 128 gig. That is depending on the brand and then the build that you have. So the higher memory you have, the more processing power you can also get. So you can have an i5 with a 16 gig, good. An i7 with a 32, good. An i9 with a 64, 128, super. You're good to go. You're not going to have any problems with the programs that you're going to run. But it all boils down to the money you have. If you have a lot of money, you can spend it on these. If you don't have enough money, go down to the lower or the slower ones, and you will be able to get yourself a laptop. Then comes the hard drive. For a long period of time, we've been using the mechanical hard drive. That is the HDD. Usually laptops will come with a 500 gig to 1 terabyte of mechanical hard drives in them. It doesn't really matter which processing power that you have. The hard drive is just a storage space. But it also has some functionality in terms of speed, how fast it can read data from the drive into memory. That also important for you to notice. But usually the SSD is faster than the HDD. That is the baseline. All SSDs are faster than the HDD. So it's important that you pay attention to that. Now with the SSDs, you are going to get as low as 128, which does not give you enough storage space, but you can go as high as to 4 terabytes. Notwithstanding, you should also know that the SSDs are much more expensive than the HDD. So if you're buying a laptop that has good specs, but the price is quite low, you have to look at the hard drive. It means that they've put in a hard drive that is of low price, so they can cut down the cost so that you can buy it. So if you buy it and you want to increase the speed, you can upgrade it to the SSD, which will help you, and that is important. So for me, I always recommend in this modern time, especially those running Windows, Mac will always give you the SSD, but with Windows, you have to always consider the hard drive in it as well. After you've decided on your processing power, your memory capacity, you should also decide on the type of drive that you have in the computer, whether it's an SSD or an HDD. The SSD is faster, but you can get lower storage space. You can upgrade it, but it's expensive. So those are the considerations that you should also pay attention to. Then come to the build. Now with the build, I'll start from the gamer's point of view. Because of the graphics that you need, like NVIDIA or Radeon, whatever graphics that you have in your computer, the graphic also has its processing capabilities. Therefore, it also requires some form of cooling. So always your computer should have a fan that will cool the processor, the normal processor, that is the i5, the i7, i9, and the processor of the graphics card or the GPU. It's very, very important. That also helps with the speed of the system. Then also the graphics also comes with RAM, which you also have to pay attention to. I didn't mention that earlier. So based on the graphics RAM will also help you know that you can process your contents faster. Yes, but it's also important to know that these devices have these capabilities: a fan that cools the processor and a fan that cools the GPU. Then comes in how the aerodynamics works, how air is sucked into the system to cool it, and then it's also pushed out. You should also pay attention to that. So that is the basic to ensure that your machine is going to run well. Then comes to the material that is used to build the machine. So we have a lot of plastic, we have aluminum, we have different materials that are used to build it. But the build determines how durable and how strong the machine is, and that will also tell you how long it can last, whether it's going to crash easily or it's going to take a longer time for it to hold up for you. So that's also something you should consider. Then the most important thing is the movable mechanisms. The other important movable mechanisms include the hinge, which holds the screen to the body of the laptop. Now the hinge usually is the most moved part of the laptop. Before you use the laptop, you're going to open the lid. That is the display. And when you finish, you close it. And as you're using it, you might adjust it and push it back and push it forward so that you get enough good viewing aspect. Yeah, that is one of the most used moved part of the laptop. So I can't really tell you which hinge is the best. But this is what I'll say. How you use your laptop determines how long it lasts. Then the other movable part is the keypad. Because you're typing a lot, the keypad also moves a lot. And one of the most challenging thing is collecting of dust or particles. So it's advisable you don't eat around when you are typing, when you are using your laptop. So you don't eat bread and other stuff around. You keep it clean. So these are the other things that you need to consider. So you need to also understand the mechanisms that are used in creating these parts. So the hinge, for instance, some hinge are designed so that they fold. Some are designed to fold 360, others are designed to fold 180, others are designed to fold 90 degrees. So those are all there. You understand? But with me, I always prefer the design that is with the aluminum body, which is designed together with the hinge, so that with that you are always sure that it is strong. And the two brands that I've seen, I think 3 brands that I've seen they do this is the MacBook, the Surface Book, and then Lenovo. So those are the best hinge I've seen so far. Apart from that, I've not really seen any other hinge that is able to stand through the test of time, especially those that are built with metal and plastic and metals, because plastic is weaker, metal is harder. So you realize that plastic will break off, and then the metal is not able to hold because it is glued or attached to the plastic, which is breaking off, and you end up losing the laptop. So those are the things that you also have to pay attention for when you're buying a laptop. Then the last is the brand. You realize that I mentioned a couple of brands whilst I was making some points in there, and that should give you a guide to the type of laptops that you can also be looking out for when you're buying a laptop. But then again, there are a whole list of brands, from Dell to Acer to Asus, Toshiba, what have you, MIS. There are so many brands out there, but each of the brands have their hallmarks. Some of them are specifically gaming laptops, others are specifically for executive use. We have HP, but some of the brands also create from all ranges. So you have, especially with HP, HP have from the basic use to executive use to office use to business use, but they have so many user categories. So you can look into all those ones and buy. So I'm hoping that these pointers I've given you is going to help you make good decisions as you're going into buying a new laptop for yourself or for anybody else. And you're not going to regret. If you like this video, kindly hit the thumbs up button, click the subscribe button, and hit the bell. Leave a comment if you have any contribution or any suggestions. Whatever video that you want me to do, you can leave it below and I'll have it up here for you. See you. Peace.